Hey, I'm Al Cavadlo. A lot of people don't know this, but soon after I moved from New York City to Florida, I found this little martial arts studio and I popped in one day out of curiosity. I started talking to the owner and he and I hit it off right away, so I decided to take some classes. Like I said, I haven't really talked about this online at all because I wasn't really sure if I was even going to stick with it. But I've been going to Jiu-Jitsu pretty consistently for over a year now, and I'm finally starting to get a little better. But more than learning the self-defense techniques or getting a good workout, which are both awesome, the biggest thing that Jiu-Jitsu training has done for me is change my life philosophy. Now, I've always believed that it's important to keep the beginner's mind. And those of you who've been following me for a while have probably heard me talk about this a lot over the years. It's even been the subject of a couple of my books. No matter how good you get at something, you're never going to know everything there is to know on a subject. So it's good to be willing to keep an open mind and be open to learning from unexpected sources. I've also often said that people typically have a hard time being objective about ourselves. It's easy to point out other people's faults, but it's a lot harder to turn that critical eye inwards on yourself. Now, getting back to Jiu-Jitsu, I often have this experience where I'm watching the instructor demonstrate a technique and I'm thinking in my head that I understand it. Maybe I could even repeat the steps back to you. But then when I go to actually practice the technique a minute later, I realize that watching someone else do it and actually doing it myself are really different things. Now, obviously, I know this already from doing calisthenics for so long. Like a lot of people, the first time I saw, say, a muscle up, I thought, oh, I'm just going to be able to do that because I understand it and I can do the individual components. But of course, as many of you know, very, very few people, certainly not me, get a muscle up without lots of failure along the way. Now, the interesting thing about how this affected my philosophy is I've come to further accept that we really have this huge chasm between thinking we understand things and really, truly understanding something because you've lived it through your own experience. And whether we're talking about pull-ups or guard passes, until you've done something hundreds or even thousands of times, you really need to keep that beginner's mind. Now, we can even extend this farther into all aspects of our lives and remind ourselves that we really don't know as much as we think we know, even about ourselves. The same way that I think that I know the technique until I try it, I can also think that I know something that's going on in my own mind and be wrong about it. As a father, sometimes it's really easy for me to see when my 5-year-old is tired or hungry because she starts acting cranky. But she has no idea that the reason she's acting cranky is because she's tired. In fact, she won't even acknowledge that she's being cranky a lot of the time. And I have come to realize that, well, I can do the same thing. The more we're willing to accept that there's so much we don't know, the better our life is going to be, and the less we're going to piss people off around us. Now, some people would consider me somewhat of a black belt when it comes to calisthenics. And frankly, at this point, I'm probably not going to get that much better at skills like the muscle up or the handstand or the pistol squat. So part of why jiu-jitsu training is so fun for me is because I get to suck at something again and start over from the beginning. And as a guy who's in his mid-40s, I think it's really important to be a beginner at something because in life, you've acquired a lot of experience and it's easy to start to think that you know everything. Starting jiu-jitsu was a really good reset for me mentally, putting me back in the beginner's mind and reminding me about the process and to be patient and to enjoy it. Now, I didn't even want to talk about any of this online until I'd already been doing it for a while, but I think at this point I'm far enough into my journey that I'm comfortable discussing it. And if you guys want to hear more about this, if you want me to do more videos talking about my experience being a jiu-jitsu white belt starting in my 40s, let me know in the comments and I would be happy to make more videos about this. If you'd rather I just get back to talking about calisthenics and talking about eating real food, You know I love doing that too. Either way, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And hey, I'm Al Cavadlo, and we're working out.